Okay, finally, our last lecture on the cranial nerves, and we'll talk about both the 11th and the 12th nerves together. Not because they go together, just because they're relatively short and simple to understand. So, let's start with the 11th nerve. Now, 11th nerve is also known as the accessory nerve, and its job is relatively insignificant as compared to the other nerves. It supplies two muscles. That's it. It supplies the trapezius muscle and it supplies the sternocleidomastoid muscle. Okay, that's it. And but I believe your professor must have when you were in medical college, your professor must have spent like hour or so defining its pathway. It has a cranial intracranial component, has a spinal component. It's basically a collection of two nerves. One is the cranial nerve, one of them is the cranial nerve, one is the spinal nerve. And that's actually not very important clinically. Not, it doesn't have much of a clinical significance. Just remember, it supplies the trapezius muscle, it supplies the sternomastoid muscle, and if your lesion, there's hardly an isolated lesion of this nerve, so it usually goes with a lesion of the 11th nerve usually occurs with in conjunction with other nerves, for example the 10th nerve or the 12th nerve. So you'll probably have some problems shrugging your shoulders, and you'll probably have some trouble turning your neck around. That's it. Okay. Okay, let's draw a line over here. That's it for the 11th nerve. Okay, now the 12th nerve is also known as the hypoglossal nerve. Its job is to supply the muscle of the tongue, intrinsic muscles of the tongue. Okay, so uh, and which muscles are those, by the way? I don't want you to remember all the names. It's really very inefficient if you try to remember all the names of the muscles. Just remember anything which goes by the name of glossus. That's it, something glossus. It's hyoglossus, myoglossus, genioglossus, some glossus, x glossus, y glossus, e glossus. Okay, that's just the glossus muscles. So the intrinsic muscles of the tongue. What's gonna happen if you have a lesion of the 12th nerve? So you'll have, let's say if this is a guy and this guy, and he's trying to protrude his tongue out like this. Okay, let's say if this side of the hypoglossal nerve is affected, so this tongue is flaccid over here. What these muscles do is basically they balance out. If I'm enlarging this image over here like this, so what these muscles are actually doing is they're pushing the tongue forward like this in both directions like this. So one side of the muscles push the tongue like this. When you protrude your tongue, one side of the muscles push the tongue forward like this, the other side pushes the tongue forward like this. So what's going to happen if this muscle is lesioned? These will actually push the tongue forward, but since this is not opposing them, the tongue will actually deviate in this direction. Okay, so the tongue will always deviate towards the side of the lesion, deviate towards the side of the lesion. Okay, so in order to make it more easy to understand for you, or easy to remember for you per se, let's just say remember this phrase. Okay, lick your wound. Okay, so just basically lick your wound over here. Okay, whichever side is affected, your tongue protrudes towards that side, deviates towards that side. It's like you're licking that side. Okay, so you basically lick your wound. You wound, not you wound. It's your wound. Okay, so that concludes our lecture on the 11th and 12th nerve and the entire section on the cranial nerves.